It's hard not to feel a bit of déjà vu here. Government after government promising to crack down on illegal immigration. New leaders, same tough talk, same familiar storyline.
Control to stop the boats. We are going to smash it down.
Now stepping into the spotlight is Shabala Mahmood, the new Home Secretary, who says it's her moral duty to overhaul Britain's immigration system. The government is promoting this as the biggest shake-up of the rules since World War II.
Package of reforms is the most significant set of reforms in modern times. It is designed to bring order and control back to a broken system that we know already is causing huge pressure across our communities and is dividing our country.
Refugee charities have been working on the ground for decades, have already been pushing. And is that bad omen? They know this perhaps well.
Look, I will of course listen to what everyone has to say about this package, and I would say to people who have concerns, my job here is to recognise that we have a system that's not working and to put that right and to unite our country as well. I'm not willing to look the other way whilst people in our country are...
And a lot of the inspiration? Denmark, once known for having the strictest immigration policies in Europe, until now. Under these new plans, anyone granted asylum in the UK would face a 20-year wait before they can apply for permanent residency, instead of the current 5. In other words, refugee status becomes temporary. Every 30 months, their situation would be reviewed, and if their home country is deemed safe, they could be sent back. On top of that, the obligation to provide housing and benefits could be removed for asylum seekers who are allowed to work but choose not to. The Home Secretary also wants to reshape the UK's relationship with the European Convention on Human Rights, making it simpler to deport people who arrive in Britain illegally.
To stop its performative headline-grubbing announcements and trying to become tougher. Communities are being ripped apart by decades of economic failure, by the hollowing out of public service, by the fact that there's no longer the glue that binds people together. That's not a consequence of illegal migrants. It's not a consequence of a system, because they shouldn't be scapegoated.
The Home Office argues that what they call a golden ticket system has encouraged rising numbers of people to come to the UK. Between 2011 and 2015, about 150,000 people claimed asylum. Since 2021, that figure has more than doubled, now sitting above 400,000. Last year alone, asylum applications in the UK jumped by 18%, the highest on record, while across Europe overall claims actually fell by 13%. But while stripping back support for asylum seekers makes many in Labour uncomfortable, the Conservatives insist the proposals still don't go far enough.
Make sure that every single illegal immigrant is deported within a week of arrival, with no asylum claims at all allowed, and you need to make sure that foreign citizens in this country are not eligible for taxpayer-funded benefits.
Now, you had 14 years to sort this out. I mean, what's different now?
Well, of course, we now have new leadership. Kenny Badenoch was never Prime Minister, I was never Home Secretary. We now have a new team and a new approach.
And what a difference a couple of months ago. The claims that Starmer's former deputy, Angela Rayner, could be the latest person circling to oust Sir Keir Starmer. Less heart emoji, more heartbreak.
It's civil war in the Labour Party, isn't it?
Well, all of this talk is happening allegedly behind closed doors and in anonymous meetings. I think my own view on these matters is if people have something to say, they should have the courage to say so publicly. I have no time for any of this Westminster bubble, chitter, chatter.
What about you? Do you fancy the top job one day?
I am focused only on the job that I am doing. It's a big job.
What we see from Labour is cabinet ministers and the Prime Minister fighting like rats in a sack. The Prime Minister trying to kneecap poor old Wes Streeting, and Angela Rayner hovering in the background, sharpening her knife because she smells blood in the water.
And what a difference a couple of months makes, with talk now that Keir Starmer's former deputy, Angela Rayner, might be the latest figure eyeing a move against him. Less heart emojis, and a lot more heartbreak.
Well, I'm joined now by Joe White, who's Labour MP for Bassett Law and chair of the Red Wall Caucus of Labour MPs, and who's also on the Home Affairs Select Committee. And with me here in the studio, Sundar Kapwala, who's head of British Future, a think tank that focuses on migration and integration. Thanks both of you for coming in on Sunday evening. Joe White, first off, you said today your constituents support this. That doesn't make it right. Why is it right?
It's a huge issue in my constituency, but I think with other MPs right across the party are telling me that it's a big issue with their constituents as well. the sight of small boats crossing the English Channel into our country has given people the sense of our borders are under threat. But also
we get the emotion, but why is this set of measures the right thing to do? Why do you think
we have to get tougher? That's what they want us to do. Their demand of
Some pretty dramatic imagery there, but reality will kick in soon enough. For a Prime Minister trying to balance sweeping immigration reforms and a Chancellor preparing a tough winter budget, the hope is straightforward. That policy, not chaos, becomes the defining story of this government.
And we need to have that strong message that if you come here, you have to obey our rules and regulations, but also if you do get granted asylum, they'll be reviewed every couple of years, and that you'll be here for a maximum of 20 years, and the intention is you should return to your country when it's safe to do so and help to rebuild that country.
Okay, a lot of packages there, a lot of ideas there, so you've got one of what's wrong with that?
Well, there is a visible lack of control in the Channel, in hotels, so the challenge becomes what would bring control while maintaining compassion and building confidence. Governments have failed to do this, and while these are new proposals today, they're incredibly similar to the proposals that Priti Patel had 3 years ago.
Wait, 20-year wait, and you can be sent back any time, every 30-month review?
Yeah, 30-month reviews with the same policy. They said it would be permanent in 10 years, now this government said 20 years. But that didn't stop the votes, that was then scrapped for a much tougher system that said we will hear nobody's claims at all under Suella Braverman, and that did not deter. So if that did not deter, there is a limit to how much this pull factor analysis, which is somewhat exaggerated, will, and therefore what the government needs is to focus on what will get control, which is a system that has accessible routes and enforcement and refusal returns to those who come outside it.
But they have focused on what works, because they went to Denmark, and this has reduced Denmark's illicit migration to its lowest point for 40 years. It worked.
Britain isn't Denmark. Denmark has spent 10 years getting a reputation for being the toughest country in Europe. There are some things about Denmark we can't emulate. They speak the Danish language, we speak the English language. We can't change that.
English is spoken throughout.
I know, but that is a major reason for the Danish thing. So Denmark has fewer asylum bids. It worked for Denmark, but we had tougher rules in Denmark in 2023 and 2024 when we said no claims at all will come, and it didn't work here because we didn't actually get to grips with what we stopped again.
So why the government base it on Denmark, not the right analysis?
Well, I disagree with you. What the previous government did was try to go down the rank route where they just stopped processing claims. We had 75,000 backlog when this government came into power, and we're having to deal with that, including the increasing number of boats coming across. If you look at what Denmark's done, 95% of those people not entitled to be in their country are removed, and I think we should be emulating that. But also, they require people to pay for the cost of their claim. Once I just think what Denmark's done when they immediately demand a jury tax. What I believe, if an asylum seeker is given a claim, they should be made to pay for that claim once they've been processed. Right. And I think everybody should have to contribute in this country if they're expected to stay here.
Right, so your government was elected to change. Simple, clear, crisp change. Why not do this? Why not say there is one route into the UK to claim asylum? We'll derogate from the European Convention on Human Rights as necessary. Get that out of the way. We won't leave it, but we'll change it if we don't like it. That's how it works. If you come any other way, you're off to Heathrow, you're back home. Why? What's wrong with that?
Personally, my personal view is that we should have regulations whereby we process claims at the first point of safety, not in the European Union, but countries such as...
That wasn't what I asked. What's wrong with what I just said?
I don't think it will work with the European Union. We need to stop those gangs, and that will not work. That continues to trail. I know that you just said that will not work. You're suggesting that we bring people travel as far as Europe, and claims are processed in Europe. I don't believe that will work. Also, we are now operating the one in, one out scheme, and that's 3,000 people have now gone through that scheme. But also, I think we should be partnering other countries such as the Netherlands and Belgium in order to expand that scheme and make it work better.
Okay, let me put that suggestion to you, Senator. Why not have just a simple, there's only one way to get asylum, anything else, you're back to Heathrow. And we'll deal with the European Convention on Human Rights?
The spirit behind the question you're asking, what Joe's saying, that's right. If you want to provide a queue that is safe, accessible and controlled and tell people that's how you claim, that can be used as a tool to take the market away from the gangs. If you provide the queue and the controlled route, it's reasonable to say to people, we'll penalise you if you jump it. Telling people to come legally when you haven't provided the route doesn't work. Telling people they should work and they don't have the right to work doesn't work. You join the policies up, you can have control and compassion. That's much better than refusing everybody. So I think the government does have some tools it can do that would make a difference.
Joe White, how do you settle successfully in this country if your case is going to be reviewed every 30 months? You can't get a mortgage, you can't get a loan, you can't function. How does that actually work?
My view is if somebody comes here with and their claiming process, we are meeting our humanitarian obligations. But that person travelled here from a country that is torn apart
want to settle here. How do you set up a business? How do you settle? You won't get a loan if you reviewed every 30 months. It'll be right.
My view is that if you're here, then the process should be expected that you return in order to rebuild your country at a point when it becomes safe to do so.
Right. Very briefly on that one, final word to you. How do you settle this country generally?
Well, if Ukrainians want to go home, we should help them go home. It wouldn't be right to say to Ugandan we'll tell you if you can stay in 1991, not 1971. When people are staying, it can be temporary for a while, but not for 20 years. I think when people reapply 3 times, we should absolutely let them settle.
Absolutely there. Sunda Katwala, Joe White, thank you both very much indeed.